Hello students, in this lab we will discuss recursion and recursive functions. A function which calls itself is known as a recursive function, and the technique used is called recursion. So we will look at the recursion in C++ using different examples. First we will use a mathematical example, that is factorial of a number. So in factorial, what we do, let's suppose we have a function of factorial with the name of fact, and we want to compute the factorial of 5. So maths, what is the factorial of 5? That is 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. But if we look at it and split it into different functions, so it means that for factorial of 5 we need, it will be something like this. Factorial of 5 will be equal to 5 multiplied by factorial of 4. Note that this whole term is factorial of 4. Now if we further split it, it will be like 5 into 4 into fact of 3. So look, we are calling fact again and again, fact. So that means we are calling it again and again, and we are calling it recursively. So this is how recursive function work. Let's look at this example in a code, that is factorial of a number. So here's a simple code that finds the factorial of a number using recursion. So the main concept that is involved in factorial recursion is that we must specify a condition that terminates the recursion. Otherwise without the condition, the recursion will be infinite and it will cause memory overflow. So we must identify a base condition at which the recursion will stop. For instance, for factorial, if a number is less than 1, that means we should stop the recursion, because the factorial of 0 is 1 and we cannot find the factorial of a negative number. So we must specify a condition which terminates the recursion. So let's look at the factorial. Here we are taking the input of a number of which we will find the factorial. Then we will pass this to a function named factorial. Now in this factorial function, you see I have specified a if condition, that is if n is greater than 1. That means if n is less than 1, that means n is 0 or any a negative number, it will terminate. Otherwise it will call this factorial function with n minus 1. So what happens here, if I enter 5, let's suppose I have entered n is equal to 5. So in first iteration, 5 will be multiplied by factorial of 5 minus 1, that is 4, as I did here. Then when this function will be called, n will be 4, then 4 multiplied by 3, factorial of 3, then 3 will be passed, then 3 into factorial of 2. So in this way it will go and execute. At the end we will have 2 minus 1 1, factorial of 1. Now this condition will become false, so it will return eventually 1. So at the end we will get a desired result. So let's execute it and see what we get. So I enter 5, the factorial of 5 is 120. Now what if I remove this if condition, that is I am removing the stopping criteria of the recursion. Now let's execute this code and see what we will get. If I want to find the number, the factorial of a highest greater number, let's say I want to find the factorial of 15. Let's see what we get. Notice that it's taking more time than normal. because there is no stopping criteria, and at the end it will execute unexpectedly or it will exit unexpectedly with some error code or maybe some garbage value. So let's wait for it. So you can see it's taking a lot of time. It's take around 47 seconds and it exited without giving us any output because it was an infinite recursion. So if I uncomment the code I commented earlier and run it again for the same value of 15, let's see how much it take to execute that. Look, it gives us the value in 1.7 seconds and the return value is 0. That means it's exited accurately. So now let's look at another example, that is palindrome. Finding a palindrome of a string. To find a given a string, to find the given string is a palindrome or not. What is a palindrome? A string is said to be a palindrome, that is, if we read it from start to end or end to start, it will give us the same word. Let's suppose if I say ABBA. Now if I read it from here ABBA, it will give, it is same as I will read it from here ABBA. For example, other example could be if I write GEEG, and there are so many examples. Let's look at it by code. So I am using here C string type to find the palindrome. So here is the main function where I have declared a string of, that is array of characters, which is taking an argument, which is taking a value of geek, and I'm calling here is palindrome function. And what is done in is palindrome function, let's see here. There is a function is palindrome which takes the string as an input, find the length of the string and see if the string is empty or not. If it's empty, it's returned true because empty string is a palindrome. Otherwise it called is palindrome recursive function, which takes string as an argument 0 and the length of the string. In is palindrome recursive function, we have a base condition which see if there is only one character, it will return true. So it will help us to stop the recursion. Then we check the first character and the last character of the string. If they match, we proceed further. If they don't match, that means it cannot be a palindrome because start and end are different, so we will return false. If the start and end matches, then we check the other the substring except start and end character. So for example, if we have GEEG, so in this loop we will compare G with G, and since they are equal, and we will come here and we will check E with each other, and we will call a recursive function which will take only this substring, and it will execute again and it will see here if these both are equal, so it will get false, otherwise it will true. Since the length is s is equal to e, so it will return true from here and it will terminate. So at the end we will get the answer yes. So if I execute this, I will get the answer yes, because geek is a palindrome. And if I want to see if I put e here, it won't be a palindrome and it will say no. So this is how recursion work in C++, and this was the some example of the recursion. You will study in later courses about the recursion in detail, and it is very useful when you will be dealing with the data structure like graphs and trees. So you must clear this concept very well. So that's it from the recursion. Thank you very much.